Hey, I'm Rebecca Mickey, children's sleep consultant and author, and welcome to the 10-minute masterclass. In this masterclass, I'm talking all about loveys and when to introduce them. Let's get started. We know that we shouldn't be introducing anything into our child's sleep space until they are 12 months old. So that means they're not having any pillows, any loose blankets, and so that also means then as well that loveys should not be in the sleep space with your child. And the reason for this is it reduces the risk of SIDS. But that doesn't mean that you can't have anything for your child to be getting attached to. You just need to be looking as when you are going to be using this, and so then when your child is old enough, you've hopefully got everything in place, and then they'll start taking it and start really enjoying this object as their lovey. So first off, think about what it is that you would like to have for your child to have as a lovey. It needs to be something fairly small, fairly easy to wash, and safe. So we don't want one of these huge, big Costco teddy bears. Just a little blanket or a little stuffed animal is fine. If you have something that you'd really like your child to get attached to, or you're noticing that they're already doing so, now go and buy another one. It is always best to have more than one, because the one's going to get puked on, or you're going to drop it in a puddle just before nap time, and then your child is going to need it for that nap. You're kind of looking at it thinking, well, it's not that dirty. If you have a spare, you can just grab your spare. So make sure if you do have loveys that you have two. I learned the hard way with this, with my daughters. They still have their loveys. They still have Pink Dolphin and Mimi and Piggy. They still have those, and they both only have one of each, and so that did suddenly cause a few problems. So definitely get yourself another one. When you can start introducing a lovey even from birth, you just want to be really strategic about how you're doing it. We want a lovey to be there as a comfort object, as a transitional object. So what I suggest that you do is whenever you can, it's not going to be every time, but whenever you can, have that with you whilst you are feeding. So that means that you're going to have that, maybe if you're always nursing a chair at home, have that right there. And so as you are nursing your child or feeding your child, you can have that lovey right there. You can have it between the two of you. You can have it on your child, something that they can then be holding, something as they grow that they can be manipulating. This may help then with keeping them actually entertained as they grow a little bit older, but they're beginning to associate that with comfort. Because remember, feeding, whether it's nursing, whether that's bottle feeding, is not just about food. It's also about comfort, it's about love, and it's about support. And so we're beginning to introduce something else there, that lovey, which your child will begin to associate with that comfort, with that love, and with that support as well. So it's really good that you can do that. Don't worry about trying to do it every time. Do not take it out with you, but just have that at home, and you can just be introducing that. As your child's beginning to get a little bit older, maybe having something that they're going to be having as with their playtime. You can have this if you're having some playtime for your child in their sleep space, in their crib, which I do encourage that you have every day. So your child is getting used to being in that space and comfortable with that space. You can have that lovey in there with their playtime. Again, so they're already beginning to associate it with the love, support, and comfort, and that may help then with them being in that space and you not being right there with them, but being in the room there with them. Just a really good sort of transitional link between you and them when they're having that playtime in the crib. You can then use that for any night feedings as well. Having that where you sit and feed, bringing that out is going to be perfect. Some families will have that in with their child as their child is beginning to fall asleep. When their child is older, and I'm talking more about 9 months old, and then once their child has fallen to sleep, they can then go and take it out if that's what they want to do. Remembering what the guidelines are to have nothing in the crib until your child is 12 months old. So having it as that transition as the child is learning, has got those skills to get themselves to sleep, then going in and taking that out if that's something that you want to do. So just go small. It doesn't mean that just because you bought something your child is going to instantly love it. Both of my children were over a year old before they got really attached to their thing. And so it was something that we worked on, and we did try some different things, and then when we saw there's some things that they liked, then we certainly did encourage that. And they're now in their teens and they still have Pink Dolphin, Mimi, and Piggy. They still have those. Not that they need them all the time, but they still have them, and they still sort of very, very threadbare now, but very, very fond memories of them snuggling with those. So it's never too early to introduce a Lovey, just as long as you're doing it safely. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next masterclass.